Welcome to my 2024 reading journal setup. This is going to be filmed in different segments as I do not fill it all out at one time, but I fill it out throughout the month of December in order to give myself some relaxing time and so that I don't feel so stressed. This year, I'm going to be working with a totally different size for me. This is a B5 journal from Archer and Olive. It actually came in the spring subscription box, as well as these Calligraphs, which I'll also be using because they just match so beautifully, and most of the washi tapes that I'll be using throughout the spreads. I'm kind of going for a fruity, summery feel, even though it's for an entire year, just because that is my overall aesthetic in general, and I really want to portray that through the reading journal. Now, I haven't completely figured out what I want to do on each page yet, but I am going to use my 2023 reading journal as a guide. I always like to begin with an index so that I can look back at the end of the year and see where everything is in the journal. So I'm going to start by doing that right here. I'm just going to do some straight lines, maybe starting here. Now, they're not perfect. There's definitely some mess up here and here. But, oh well. I do sometimes use a white acrylic paint marker to fix any mistakes that I make. I find that it's a lot easier to use than whiteout. So I will just take that and kind of even out any lines. Now, I wish I wasn't such a perfectionist and that I could just leave these things. But unfortunately, that is who I am, and it will bother me every single day that I use the journal. So that's why I go over it. I'm going to outline this. Now, I do like to make this look a little bit sloppy, which helps. Okay, now there is my index. And I like to write just about everything out in pencil before I commit with marker. So right here would be about the middle. Right. There's my index. Now, throughout the year, I'll use my fine tip. I think is it a Pilot? Yeah, I'll use my Pilot High Tech 0.3 to go through and write all the page numbers. So I'm going to start with 2 and whatever that is, and that'll be my beginning of the index. Okay, so now I'm going to make a reference page, and this is basically going to tell me what my star ratings mean, what colors mean what, and so on and so forth. So I like to kind of mix in some mixed materials. So I'm going to do my reference like this. It's definitely not straight. There we go. And for some added interest, gonna around the corners. glad I did that because now I have to trim off a little excess. Ta-da. And then my star ratings. So let's see. And I got these on Amazon. I usually get mine off Etsy, but I needed them. When I ordered them, I needed them the next day. So I had to get Amazon. Okay, and then I have to assign a star rating. I'm gonna do 1 star. I'm gonna do this pretty green color because I just love it so much. Okay, going to mix it up and do a, actually I love the pink, so I'm gonna do pink for my 4 star. I'm gonna do the big tip this time. Okay, oh no, look what I did. It's fine. And then I'm gonna do yellow for 3 star. I'm gonna actually do 3 this time and not do 5. Okay. And for that, you already know what I'm gonna do. Use my acrylic paint pen. That one doesn't work. I need to find the one that does. Okay. Really need to clean the tip off. It's really messy. Okay. So now I'm going to take this and I'm going to carefully color it in, and then I'll touch that up with a pen. Ta-da! You never know, it was colored in. Okay, and then I'm going to do this green color. I'm not sure if I love these colors. I might go back and change these whenever I get my new mild liners in, because I asked for those for Christmas. But for right now, we're gonna stick with this. I'm just not sure if I love how dark they are. And then I usually like to write like why did I rate those? And so I'm gonna look back in my old journal from last year to my reference. And instead of making up a new rating scale, I'm just gonna copy the one I already have. So, but I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna go really, really simple. So, absolutely loved it. And then to make it longer, I'm gonna go fave. Okay. Next one is I really liked, loved. This one's gonna be good, not great. Didn't like it much. Really didn't like / hate it. And then I also like to, on this page, Whenever I do my reading goal, I like to track it by type of book. So I have my audiobook, ebook, so on. So I'm going to do physical, e-book, and audio book. That is really not centered. Bothers me. Okay, I'm going to edit that with this. So anytime that I mess up, which is quite often, I usually just take a piece from an old journal or from the very, very back of this one, and I cut it out and paste it over anything that I mess up on. And that way it kind of gives me a blank slate, and I don't have to think about it every single time I open up my journal. Because knowing me, I will look at that and say, oh, I hate that so much. So, and yes, you can tell that I have a piece of paper in there, but I don't really care. Right here is the middle, and we're gonna go ebook. We're gonna come over here, and we're gonna go audio, and we're gonna count 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Sometimes I like to write backwards. I know that sounds weird. Ta-da! And now it's much more centered. But I will choose these colors later because I don't want to commit to anything right now. And I like to put a little header. Give it a little highlight. Okay. And then to decorate the page, I'm going to use some washi. Got this set from Archer and Olive. It's the picnic set in the spring collection. So I'm going to add that right here to the bottom. Okay, and then I'm going to add this one on top. Just adds a little fun. Oop, I want that over a little bit. And it's just a little fun color. And I might do some other stuff too. I do a little bit like this. And I love that. Okay, and here is where the magic happens. So we're going to do a reading goal tracker and a days I finished a book right here. Ta-da! All right. I'm going to cut that big. Ta-da! Because this one cuts a little bit better. Keep this one really simple and not put any washi tape just because it's going to get really colorful. And I'm going to put that right there. And that's my reading goal tracker. Great. Okay, next is the days I finished a book. I really like this spread. I used it for the first time last year, and this is the days I finished a book I used last year. Obviously, yeah, it doesn't get super filled up, but it's just kind of cool to see at the end of the year. Okay, so that's another one that we're going to need a ruler for. And I like to use a pencil to count out how many squares I'm going to need. Right here. 1, 2, 3. That looks good. And then we have to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I went ahead and I put my star rating guide right here because every time I finish a book, I'm going to color it in by what the star rating was. And that way it's just super easy to see. And I'm probably going to put a sticker or two right here. I might use one of my own stickers that I made. Green washi that I got from, gosh, I can't remember, Michael's maybe? Possibly Hobby Lobby. I can't remember exactly where. But I'm not sure if that's going to go with that. But yeah, I just really love that green washi. I'm gonna wait for now. I'll figure out what I want to do with it later. Might do another piece of this washi up here at the top. I just really love this green color with the daisies. Together. And I might do some hand-drawn florals like I did here, actually, because I really love that. So I might do that right now. Okay, and then this is my favorite spread to do. This is my genre bookshelf. Last year, this is what it looked like. I'm probably gonna do something very similar this year. First, I have to figure out how tall the shelves should be. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Start right here in the middle. I'm going to color it in using a Crayola Super Tip. I like having wooden bookshelves just because it adds a little pop of color to the white pages, even though it will be full of color once I color in all the genres of the books that I've read. Quite the same, but it's close enough. Yeah, it's close enough. I'm gonna make a little open door cabinet. I'm just gonna cut right here. I'm gonna cut right here on this fold, and it's gonna go right there like little doors. Scrap paper. And then the same thing with this one. that. And that regular Scotch tape. Tape on the inside. Okay, so I'm going to tape on the inside like that. And then I am going to just make sure it is centered. Now I'm going to not great, but better. Okay, do the same on this one. Ta-da! Now I'm gonna have to do a little bit on this side as well, but we're gonna cut it in half. But I want to kind of do that. Put that right there. I wish there was a way to make it just a tiny bit more visible, but it'll work. Okay. And then we're gonna put that right there. And now we have open and shut cabinets. Now, if you're wondering why I did that, it's because I'm gonna put these little shutter frames. And right here in the middle, I'm gonna make a nice little, ta-da! Now let's do a little cabinet. Now, I love incorporating like little doors and stuff in my designs. And now I am going to make the genres. So I'm going to make some squares to tell me what color the different genres are. Obviously, thriller, contemporary fiction, historical fiction, romance. What else? Fantasy. I like magical realism. Horror, maybe. Okay, and so if I need any more, I will add them to the back of these flaps. But yeah, so that's my bookshelf. I think I'm gonna stamp the word genre bookshelf up there. Just to add a little something, something to it. Okay, and I'm gonna color in some of these things and make the candle pink. I have terracotta, but this works technically. Okay, maybe a gray. And a bluish color. Cool. And last but not least, some brown soil in here. And there's my bookshelf.